Hello, my name is Omar Abisset. It is 1:33 p.m. September 15th, 2020. So I've been live streaming some conversations outside the window, and I have indicated before that I am being targeted in the building, and conversations outside the window. Once effing whore is said, it's meant for me because I complained several times about this. So it's known to the worker who's taken part in this, in these conversations, that it is upsetting to me and it's still going on. So there's other comments that I pointed out in my tweets, RSHINI 911, which indicates that there's logging on. These men are talking about logging on and living with women and effing women and beating up women with by turning up the power, and certain areas of the body that's being affected. They cut their eyes out, burn your eyes out, various parts of the body, including the private parts. So that's being mentioned all the time in these conversations. So they're talking like rapists. And because PK, another rapist in the building, said he had people looking and he's working for the highest of the high and it's ongoing, and he heard from unit 2-3, that's the first two digits. Didn't hear the last one. So there are only a few units that starts with 2-3, mine included. And this rumor is going on, and I'm being harassed in public as a prostitute. So since I'm not a prostitute, never have been a prostitute, being called a prostitute means, when I put that together, this labeling, together with the comments I hear outside, and this has been going on for years, that I'm being remotely accessed, I'm being gerbiled. People are looking at me, they're living with me remotely, and I'm being passed around. I'm a football, I'm a baseball, and I'm being passed around, and I'm being registered in, and I'm being taken out. So this is remote. This is a remote prostitution ring that's being run, that's being talked about outside the window. So how is it being remoted? Well, with signals. All right, so signals. So these are the signals on my hand. The power is turned up. That's the EF. Notice huge numbers. Badr Nizar's name keeps popping up. And I'm being passed around and making the rounds over and over and over again. And the reports that's being submitted, apparently the cops are getting several reports about me by their informants. The worker is an informant. He talks to the cops about me. He talks about talking to the cops about me. He talks about calling the cops on me. He talks about other workers calling the cops on me. He talks about residents calling the cops on me, being picked up. There is a warrant, there is a ticket. The cops are being knock, knock. Better show Rick. Rick likes to grope when my breast is affected and between the legs. You need to go to sleep. You got to be discreet. These are the instructions that are talked about outside the window, and of course, it's done by directed conversations. In some cases, actually, my name was called. My name and my unit number was called. So, and the contents of the human rights hearing is called, and my tweets are talked about openly. What I mentioned in my tweets are being talked about. So I know I'm being talked about. It's being directed to me. This is how I know. So like I've said in my tweets several times, I've attempted to tell the cops that I'm being stalked for years and several times throughout those years. The last time I did that, and I called 911, and I talked to the cops who were on site who took no notes. That I was being harassed, and I was as a prostitute by these two Muslim women. They went home, called the cops, said I was harassing them. The cops came to my door, knock, knock, knock. No questions asked, took me down, saying I was going to be questioned. I was never questioned, I was just charged. With a false charge, obviously it was dismissed. But because I'm a target, and my lawyer was infiltrated, and the lawyer was called the cops. I heard outside the window, and all the informants are connected. So they talk about what past informants did and what the present ones are doing as well with remote technologies as well, and what's being reported and how it's being fixed, and what's being told to the cops and how it's fixed, and the piggybacking and the lies. They openly talk about the lies that's being told. So I heard this morning that I was drunk and shouting. Well, the last drink I had was like a bottle of wine that I bought months ago, and before that it was Christmas. So I don't drink, and plus it's not good for your liver. Doctor's orders. So continuous drinking alcohol is not the best choice of beverage for me. Once in a while is okay, but alcohol is not good for the liver. So I've cut down on the little bit that I was drinking before. Red wine, I read was good for you, for your heart, and it's a blood thinner, a vasodilator as well. So for that reason, I incorporated it into my diet once in a while. I even cut down on that. So there's no drinking, there's no alcoholism, there is no issue with alcohol. Absolutely none whatsoever, none whatsoever. I mean, if there was, there'd be liver cirrhosis. That's non-existent. It's just it's not present. So, this is an ongoing issue. So let me get to the and I'm doing this to counter any reports that's being submitted about me today, presently at this time, that's been talked about outside the window, about whatever it is they reported, all these piggybacking and these false reports. And so this is why I'm doing this. So, this is a live feed. This is what I am right now. There is no issue. There is, whatever it is they report about is not true. Whatever reports are made and whatever lies are incorporated in those reports are simply not true. And I mean, alcoholism is definitely a lie. So, anyways, not laboring the point. Again, the power is being turned up on me. See that huge number on my chest? And I heard the comments by the contractors that they're trying to get me to cooperate. In other words, they're trying to get me not to shield at night. So once I figured all of this out, before it was done subtly, and then as technology progressed, it became quite obvious that something was happening in my body, and it was being done remotely. And once I figured out through research, a lot of research, a lot of reading, what was going on, I shield myself, and the shielding is quite effective. So, and I demonstrate some of the methods in my other videos. So shielding is not something that the remote rapists want. So when you shield, the power is turned up, and you're just bombarded with these signals, and that causes internal injury, that causes harm to your body. Things like high blood pressure, heart attacks, aneurysms, strokes, blood clots, microwave signals when it's absorbed by your body thickens the blood, so you get clots. Your veins are going to be affected by the pressure of the electricity that I just demonstrated. You're going to have all sorts of internal organ failures, kidney failure, pancreatic failure. Your spleen is going to be affected, your liver is going to be affected, your lungs are going to be affected. So all your internal organs, your bladder, my bladder is constantly hit. The bikini area is constantly radiated as I sleep. So what I do is I shield that area. And even some nights the power is turned up so high that I could still feel the pain. So I mean, it's only so many layers of shielding that you put on, other than being in a lead room. And I heard Epstein had a lead room in his mansion, which is very interesting. You're sometimes the signals are gonna come through your shielding and are gonna hurt you. So something to keep in mind. So again, power turned up. See that huge number? Chest. See how fast that appears on the screen and just disappear? That's how fast the pulse is, nanoseconds. But it's enough to cause a lot of pain for a long time. If the length of time increases, then it will cause major injury. And it does. It did to the heart. While I was sleeping one night, I wasn't shielding. And this was a few years ago. And I know that something happened either to my lungs or to my heart that was never diagnosed, because the people involved in these experiments infiltrate your doctors and tell the doctors what to do and say, because it's a program that's being run. So the other detector. So the heart is tagged, the middle of the chest. The breast. But the middle of the chest is permanently tagged, continuously tagged. So I heard Budrin is serious, and there was a wedding, and he wants to take me over because I'm labeled and being pussified, and this is what pimps do. In order to sell you and take you over to sell you. This is exactly what pimps do. So continuously tagged. So my temperature. (36.6). 37.2. And if you look at all my other videos, you'll see a consistency. 36.6. 37.3. The forehead. 36.6. So I don't have a fever. 36.6. 37.3. 37.1. So the temperature underneath the arm increased and decreased because my chest and my back is being pulsed in an up and down pattern of power. The power is increasing and decreasing in a pattern, in an algorithm. So it goes from 0 to 21, 22. That's the highest I've seen on this meter, and everything in between. And just for nanoseconds, it pulses through, and then comes down, pulses through. So if it doesn't go all the way up to 21, 22, and it goes from 0 to 1,000, then the body temperature decreases. If it goes up, the body temperature increases faster, a lot faster. And you see a lot of fluctuations. 36.7. So it depends on the computerized algorithm. 37.1, 36.5, 37.2, 36.6, 36.7, 36.6, 37.2. So, as I said, you can see the pattern in the other videos. And there are many, 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 many. On MSEYEOPENER, Miss Eye Opener, on the YouTube. Check it out. So right here is really painful. No magnets on my back and my chest. So I'm going to, and this is a temperature at 72.9, and this was about 2 feet away from my body. So I'm going to just put this down here, right in front of me. And I'm going to take my blood pressure. So I put this right next to me, and it's now 73.6. So this was, about 18, not even 18, about 12 inches away from the computer. So right now it's between the computer and my body. And it's about 12 inches away from the computer as well, but about 2 inches away from my body. And suddenly the temperature jumped. So 113 over 77. 75. And I'm getting electric pulses on my back. One 14 over 76. 75.9. And I'm going to give you a sample of the readings. This is me in black. So that's the edge, that's me. Table. And this is the detector, and here is the temperature. Right, so 114, look at this here, the RF reading. That's a pulse on the foot. So my back is being pulsed. Notice the RF reading, which is this number here, is all over the place. So 76.5. The back is being pulsed. So you notice the RF reading is going from 3.0, 2.9, 3.4 to 18, 21, 25, 22, up and down, up and down, up and down. Every time it jumps from a low number to a high number, that's a pulse on my body. Notice that the EF reading is stable. So this is how I'm being kept in pain. And that was the other detector going off there. That's right next to me. So here is the detector doesn't give you the breakdown, but it will show you the pulses. So let me just put these two together and look at this number here and look at that number there. The yellow one is a cheaper detector. It doesn't give you a breakdown. And I suspect it's less sensitive. The sensor is a cheaper one. Okay. And the temperature, 76.8. All right, so I think you got the idea. My blood pressure is a little bit low. Gonna take it one more time, and then I'm gonna close this video off. So 123/83. So it went from, so up and down, so it's going up and down. So it went from 113/77, 114/76 to 123/83. That's the first three numbers there. Okay, so I'm just going to close this. Talk to you another time.